Welcome, everyone. Hello, Amelia. Would you do instructions for us for the Spanish?
Of course, thank you.
Thank you.
Hola, muy buenas tardes a todos y bienvenidos a su junta. Hoy tendremos interpretación simultánea disponible en español. Si gusta disfrutar de esta junta en español, ya no se ha aprendido la función, pero cuando se aprenda la función, buscará el icono de un mundo que aparece abajo de su pantalla y después seleccionará donde dice español y los invitamos también a silenciar el audio original. Si están utilizando teléfono o tabletos, su proceso se mirará un poco diferente. Buscarán los tres puntos en la pantalla que digan More o más en español. Deslizarán un menú de opciones hacia donde dice Interpretación. Aún no se ha aprendido, pero cuando se aprenda aparecerá esa función. Y de ahí usted seleccionará Español. Una vez más, los invitamos a silenciar el audio original. Y cuando han acabado, si ya han actualizado, solamente queda presionar otro lugar en su pantalla, pero si aún no han actualizado, probablemente tengan que presionar listo, done o finalizar para ingresar al canal. Muchas gracias. Thank you.
Hi, hello, everybody. I went ahead and just dropped I'm sorry. I went ahead and dropped the agenda in the chat. My name is Nancy. I am the community liaison for the Arvin Lamont community now. And so if you want to go ahead and follow along, the agenda is posted. We are going to be kicking off with the outreach on filing air quality complaints, followed by charging infrastructure discussion, and then we will go ahead and open the floor for comments and suggestions for the next steps and for the next outreach subcommittee.
This is Heather. Thank you, Nancy. Could everyone open that attachment? I don't know if we sent it before people got in, if they can see it or not. Pull up the agenda. Yeah.
I don't have it in my chat box when I look, so I might have
Thank you.
added after, as you said.
We shall place it again. Thank you.
Yeah, got a new
That's
link
why I
there.
was
Thank
checking.
you.
Perfect. So that's our agenda. I think we should do quick introductions. What do you think, Nancy?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Hi, Tim. Go ahead.
Are you sure the link works? Because every time I go to it, it says Safari cannot open this page. The server cannot be found.
Oh, let's find out. I got it pulled up on my end. Let me see if it looks different if I put it like this. Try that one.
It worked for me. I just had to download it on my phone with the first link.
Oh, got it.
I know what's wrong. Sorry, it's my firewall. It's blocking it.
Well, it sounds like a very robust firewall. That's good, though. I'm glad you got that open, or you're getting it open. I am Heather Hanks. I am the program manager for the outreach team at the Air District, and we've got several folks on today. We're excited to have the expertise in the room with you guys. I'm going to hand it over to Nancy to introduce herself. Again, sorry, Nancy already introduced herself. I'm going to hand it over to Danny.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Dan Gonzalez. I'm one of the community liaisons for the Arvin Lamont CSC committee. Happy to be here today. I'll hand it over to Mari.
Hola, soy Marisela. Estoy la supervisora del
Hi,
Departamento
Marisela,
de
supervisor of
Gracias.
outreach
Te
and
lo paso
communication. Thank you
a-
so much. I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Kevin.
I'm Kevin Wing. I'm in our grants and incentives team, and I'm one of the leads in charge of our Charge Up program. So I'll be here for the second half of the discussion, primarily where we're talking about infrastructure and how to solicit ideas for that.
Awesome. And Michelle, I think everyone knows Michelle.
Hi, yeah, this is Michelle Byers, and I'm here on behalf of the California Air Resources Board, or the state, the easy way to put it. And yeah, just happy to be here.
All right. Do we have our co-leads here?
Yes, hi. This is Cesar Aguirre with the Central California Environmental Justice Network. Um, I'm about to start driving, but all that stuff in the back that you see there is goodies from the Air District for our meeting tomorrow.
Fantastic. Thank you. And I don't think Bianca's on. I'm going to hand it off to Danny to get us started.
Awesome. Thank you, Heather. I believe we're going to go straight into the transition of our PowerPoint. I will be discussing some of the outreach efforts that we are currently implementing in our Lamont community. So once Nancy gets up that PowerPoint, we can definitely start discussing some of these efforts. And Nancy, thank you for sharing. Nancy just shared in the chat, so if you guys would like to follow along or just have access to it, the link for the current PowerPoint that we'll be going over tonight is available in the chat. Great. So what exactly is it that we're doing in Arvin Lamont in regards to outreach? There's always plenty going on. And so if you go to the next slide. So some of the things that we like to emphasize is not only are we committed to ensuring that our SERP objectives are being met, but we are also maintaining priority in disseminating such information and communication with the public, something that is current and transparent. And so how we do that is with anything that is necessary for the public to know in regards to air quality alerts or impacts, any program opportunities that are being offered, such as our kids calendar contest offered every year, or just general program opportunities such as our Clean Air Rooms program. We are continuously and seamlessly promoting this across all media, social media platforms. As you can see, this information is available in bilingual, making sure that we reach all our audiences across our communities, particularly in Arvin Lamont. Along with that, we also ensure that we are also posting in non-traditional mediums such as Nextdoor, which is really directly targeting towards our individuals that are part of Nextdoor.
Hey, Danny.
Yep.
Will you talk just a hair slower for translation?
Oh, most definitely. Thanks, Heather.
Thanks.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
So yeah, so like I said, just to repeat myself a little slower, we are ensuring that we are promoting all of our opportunities in all social media platforms. As you can see here, ranging from air quality alerts to different program district opportunities, such as our kids calendar contest and our Clean Air Rooms program. Next slide. As you can see here, we continue to promote that. This also involves some of our Tune In, Tune Up events that just last month on February 8th, we had one that was very successful. We had plenty of community residents attend. And yeah, we will continue to do this as long as we can. Next slide. Another thing that I like to highlight, every year the Air District offers an opportunity for kids to participate in something that we call Healthy Air Living Kids Calendar. This is an annual opportunity for students and youth across the valley to engage in and displaying their artwork and knowledge through artwork or creative artworks of air quality information. And is displayed in our annual calendar. This last year for 2025, our team of outreach and communications went out to various counties throughout the valley, particularly in Arvin Lamont, and we targeted specific organizations to disseminate this calendar. As you can see, we try to target as many as possible, although we're not able to reach all groups and communities in the Arvin Lamont area, but we do try to get to as many as possible. Having said that, anyone that is interested in obtaining that calendar can certainly do so by just reaching out to us directly to myself or just our general district phone line, and we can gladly mail out those calendars to you. With that, I do want to encourage those individuals that are here today that if you know someone of middle school age, high school, or younger, elementary school age, please encourage them to submit their artwork. We can gladly send over the registration forms to participate in the program. This is, again, offered every year, and that is something that we encourage all students to engage in. Yes, thanks, Heather. The winners do get scholarships. I believe the first, as you can see here, this is the artwork displayed for our cover artist. I want to say, and correct me if I'm wrong, it was a $500 stipend that was received for the cover artist, along with every other month artist selected is about a $100 stipend as well. And so not only that, but it's really an opportunity to highlight their artwork, their knowledge, their creativity, and they also get invited to participate in our governing board meeting and meet with our governing board members and other staff to highlight their community, their art, and their knowledge. We have a question, Mario, Elvia?
Yeah, something had something. Sorry, I got the other phone on and it just
No worries.
echo. Yeah, on that program right there for the calendar,
Mhm.
how can we get information for like saying, or do we send the pictures? Do we send it, have the maybe the schools, Lamont School, Alicante, Murray Avenue, all these schools to, maybe I don't know when you guys started, but to have them have a day of art and maybe they could send whatever on that location if this information goes to the school.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mario. That's a great suggestion, and something that we are currently doing. Since we do work with many schools in Arvin Lamont community, we do annually send out this information not only on our social media platforms for those relationships that we've built with school and admin, but if there's a school in particular that you're thinking of, please let us know, and we can gladly send over that information over to them, either in mail or in person. But yeah, please let us know, Mario.
Maybe I don't know when you guys started, but I feel like how you guys did it last time. I mean, I seen it on media that you went to the school and you was teaching them things about the air and all this stuff.
Yeah,
So
no, certainly.
like if you do something like that for the art thing, for maybe go over there to a different school, maybe one day on one school and then another day another school like that, they could educate themselves about what's going on with the air and stuff like that. That's maybe a good beginning of education for the kids like that. They could realize what's going on, and
Most
not only
certainly.
that, yeah, and the art would be real nice, to have the kids do art, you know.
Yeah, no, thank you. Great suggestion, Mario. And just in reference to what Mario is discussing in regards to educating youth, that is a service and opportunity that we offer all youth across the valley that we serve. And we being the outreach and communications team, engage in active presentations to classrooms from K through 12th grade. And these presentations are available to anyone. It does not have to be necessarily youth, but we like to focus them on youth because it gives us an opportunity to kind of highlight some of the younger population as to well, not only what they know, but also educate them a little more on some of the efforts that are being done and opportunities that are being offered in addressing air quality issues in their community or in their backyard. So Mario, yes, please let me know if you are highlighting or thinking of anyone in particular as far as the school site. Again, these presentations are available to anyone really, at the
I'll,
youth
I'll be
level, adult.
I'll be honest. I would like all the schools from here in Lamont, and I don't know, maybe Arvin too. If they love to have a program like that, it'd be nice for Arvin and Lamont, 6 month members, the family, maybe talk to the people from the schools and get everybody organized and have a day of art. Have
Yeah, most
Lamont.
certainly. I appreciate the idea. I think it's a great idea. Often, how this presentations kind of come about is that we typically get invited by someone at the admin level, or a particular teacher that invites us to be a presence on the campus. So if you, and again, we obviously have those relationships with those schools, but not to say that we can't definitely begin that process. So.
Yeah, I feel that I think it's time for something like that to happen because it's time for us to educate the kids about our environments and not to burn and safety issues and stuff like that, and maybe invite the police department, fire department together and make a big old think about it. Something will work.
Yeah,
You
no,
know.
most certainly. And I just to go off of what you just suggested, Mario, oftentimes when we do these presentations, the youth really surprise us as staff. They're very well versed and educated on some air quality topics that sometimes kind of surprises you given their age. And so it's something really delightful to hear and engage in with their youth. So yeah, if anyone here on the call, resident, any CSC member that has a connection or a particular teacher or class that you would like us to go to, please let us know. Let myself know. And we can definitely coordinate that and make sure that we go out there.
I got one more question. Could we do this anytime, or there's a special time for that art type deal?
So the artwork contest, the Healthy Air Living Kids calendar runs every year. It's an annual thing. But the cutoff for this year, and typically every year, is around September 20 something, the third week of September. So that's around the time that we kind of cut off the artwork for the following calendar school year or calendar year. So we definitely want to make sure that we get the message out there and get promoted as much as possible. So please, if you know anyone that would like your youth artist or art to be displayed, let us know.
We'll also try and do a little circuit at your community spaces. We realize the school's out in the summer, but there's definitely an opportunity to infuse some information then too. So
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mario. And so yeah, please don't hesitate to let us know. Next slide, Nancy. Thank you. And so obviously the district is always evolving as far as how we can educate and engage the audience in our community with the necessary tools to respond to air quality issues. And one such tool that you're giving a preview to right now is our draft of our file complaint postcard. So this postcard is going to be an opportunity for residents to really kind of have a tool, a tangible tool to know what are the requirements, or this kind of the processes to report file a complaint in regards to air pollution in your community or backyard. It's going to be available in both English and Spanish. As you can see, there's going to be a physical postcard that each member can receive or community, and these will be disseminated throughout the community at community events upon request. And so we want to make sure that, again, the community has something that's tangible that is going to be easily referenced so that you guys can make those calls, file those complaints, so that we can work collaboratively together to address those issues in your community. Okay. Next slide. Along with some of the education that continues in the community, and particularly with our school sites, is our no idling signs campaigns. These essentially are a simple message and a reminder to parents and guardians and those that visit school sites to just simply turn off your engine while you're waiting to pick up your student or your youth from school sites. These, if you are picking up someone from the school site, you will notice them along the lines of the pickup lines. Oftentimes they're plastered around the school fence. Just a simple reminder to remind parents to just simply turn off that motor or that vehicle while you're waiting for your youth to get off of school and pick them up. We are actively working with many school sites to either provide new signage because of weather or any type of other impacts. So oftentimes these signs do kind of deteriorate over time, but we are working actively to ensure that all school sites have these updated signs. Mario.
Yeah, on like the sites they're nice and everything. But I wanted to talk about that about man, I hate when I do this. For the problems of yeah, my mind blew off. I'm sorry. In my mind right now, I just got what you call it messed up.
No worries, Mario. We can always circle back to you if it comes back.
Okay, I'll come back. All right.
Sounds good. Thanks, Mario. And so we again, like I said, just a reminder, we are sending these out to school sites. We're dropping these off personally upon request for those school sites that are interested in having new signage. Yeah. Next slide. Another program we would like to very excitedly share with, and as you guys have been well aware of, is our Clean Air Room program. Currently, there's just a little over 500 available units still for the Clean Air Room for Kern County. And so for those of you that are still interested or have any one that may be in need of one, please encourage them to apply. They are available, and we are readily available to ensure that we can assist them in applying. Either they can apply themselves or they can simply give us a call and we can gladly assist them in that process. As you can see, we've been actively engaging in the community in different types of events. The last event was a very successful event in collaborating with Tune In Tune Up of Valley Can and having a presence there to engage in with those residents that were going through that program. Next slide. And at this point, I will hand it over to Nancy that will discuss our charge up program.
Mario, did you have a question?
No, I'm still reprogramming myself. Yeah, I'll get that back with you. All right. I'm gonna note down my hand. Thank you.
And then this is Nancy. We have a question from Lucia. She was asking if we can apply online.
Hi, Lucia. Yes, you can certainly apply online for the program. We will definitely share that link available to you in the chat. You can either do it on your phone or mobile device. Just make sure that you have, for those that are applying, it's a reminder that you have one unit per household applying, and to have a valid ID or of some sort of identification with the applicant's name and current valid address. It's pretty simple, straightforward process, about 5 to 8 minutes. It's just a reminder that once you apply, the device itself will generally take anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks to arrive to the address provided. If you have any questions upon applying or some confusion, again, please feel free to give us a call and we can gladly help you assist you with that application process. And then Heather, just share that link for you guys can visit that application process.
All right, this is Nancy again. I am going to go ahead and drop some of the links to our guide to electric vehicles brochure in the chat. So we do have these available in Spanish and in English, and it pretty much just gives you a breakdown of general tips, myths, and facts about EVs, and it just provides you a little bit more information about charging and just things that you should know about purchasing an electric vehicle. Some of the things that we do here is just promotion of program on social media, develop new educational brochures like the one that is provided here in this slide. And so if anybody would like any of these brochures or any of our other outreach materials, of course, you could always, contact us and we'd be more than happy to send you any of these outreach materials. Mario, did you have a question?
Yeah, now it came back to me. I was asked them that on the zoning, when you make a complaint about do you guys have a zoning numbers on areas when you make a complaint or anything, or you have a map on zones area like that? When a person makes a complaint, they know what zone it is at to make that complaint. DBR have something like that, a mapping of zone, and then they number it or something like that.
Good question, Mario. We don't work by zones. We primarily work by county. And at the minimum, if we can get cross streets and whatever the issue is significant enough, whatever detail someone can provide, there's room to do it on the phone, through the complaint website, or even in the app. And it could be like, it's 3:33 and there's this large plume of smoke. I'm at the corner of this street and this street. It appears to be whatever detail we can get. We definitely don't have a zone, but even if you don't have an address, if you can get us to the vicinity, we're going to go find it or try to find it.
Yeah, because one time when I made a complaint, I noticed that the person who was getting all the information I was giving had a little difficult because she couldn't really find the area or something like that.
Wasn't familiar.
She was not familiar of the location and all that. And then it makes me wonder if you guys should zone, get spots that you guys could make a number and zone it like that when a person say something, maybe at the street or something nearby it, or not to make it difficult for that person to know where it's at. Because I noticed I had that type of problem, and if it's hard for me, I know it's hard for somebody else that is
Understood.
not educated on that part. That's why. That's why
And
I'm
you have a
asking.
lot of county roads out there, a lot of kind of like, where am I exactly? Yeah, I
Yeah.
understand it might be a challenge. The other thing that's awesome and we encourage is for the public. They don't have to, but if they give us their contact information, we will contact you. And many times, those conversations with inspectors actually produce more information and get us a little more kind of honed in to the issue at hand. So as you tell people, hey, report this complaint, you might encourage them to leave their info because we will give them the follow-up.
Yeah, because that was the point I was gonna be to say that because even crossed in my mind, you know. But I seen some spots out there that they don't even have signs on the area when whatever is there, you know. And
The other thing that you can do made me think of it. Visually speaking, the app will also take a photo. So, I mean, short of us trying to find landmarkers and things, we'll be as creative as we can, Mario, to try and address the issue. But all of those options are there. I think it might even take an audio file. I'll have to check. A photo, a video file, and then text.
Okay, and then we might have to maybe educate the people, the public, the community of what they have to do and make it easier for the community because a lot of people do not know how this thing works, you know. They call a spot and then right away they give up.
Okay.
And the thing is to give these people some education like that, we could fix up this type of problem, what's going on.
You're making a great point that I think we need to be somewhat more candid on this postcard.
Yes.
And maybe
Yes.
even say those things. Report often. Give us lots of details. You know,
Take photos or you know,
yeah.
or maybe I don't know about map give you for you the map give you the specs where you're at. I don't know.
Right.
But
Thank
we
you,
have
Mario.
to we have to educate these people like that, you know, if they want to make a complaint. Thank you.
Thank you, Emma.
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to jump in to support what Mario was sharing because Mario and I have had conversations in the past about not that there isn't information about like making a report, but more so informing the community about like what constitutes a complaint or an air quality concern that should be reported to the air district. So like I know with the meeting that CCJN is hosting tomorrow, I think that'll help with the education piece. But I think as part of the AB 617 program and as part of the calendars and all of the other great stuff that y'all are doing, incorporating some of that education piece of like what constitutes as an air quality complaint, and again encouraging residents to call it in, right? Because we like folks might see truck idling but might not know that that's something that they can actually call and complain about, right? And so I think that that's the gap that's missing.
Got it.
So yeah, just making sure that the material that's provided by the air district also provides that additional information would be helpful. Thank you.
Got it. Thank you. I appreciate both of your feedback. It does kind of make me want to make a few edits to the piece that we're looking at right here. So that's why we're here talking to you. Thank you. Real quick before, oh no, sorry. I wanted to say something back again about the guide to the EV once we get back there. This brochure is kind of a response from you guys and community work that we've done in the last 5 years. We've heard from you, hey, we don't know anything about electric vehicles, and it's a bit intimidating. And I don't want to go to a salesperson and ask because they're just going to tell me all the right things because they want to make a sale. I just want somebody to give me basic information about electric vehicles. So that's what this is. And the link is in chat. But take a look at it. See if it makes sense to you. We send it to the dealers that participate in our car programs too, to try and share the information. But we want to reduce sort of the obstacles. And back to you, Nancy.
Did you have a question, Mario?
Yeah, that brochure is good. I like it. And not only that, right now with all electrical cars, in the future, they need to have no problems. They'll charge on themselves, and the knowledge is all there. It's been there for centuries. The first electrical car was built back in 1868, somewhere around there. The first electrical car, and they had electrical cars that used to drive by themselves back in the 1800s.
Would you like us to send you some of these, Mario,
Yeah, please.
to hand out to neighbors and friends? Okay.
Yes. Yeah, and the electrical cars are gonna get better.
I agree. I think they already are. I'm on my
Yeah.
second one, and it's tons better. And I'd really like to get the next one because I want more range.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I just
Thank you,
wanted to say
Mario.
that.
This is Nancy. And so we do have a program called Charge Up Electric Vehicle, which is an electric vehicle charger incentive program. So just some high level overview of this program. So it provides funds to purchase and install electric vehicle chargers for public use. And so this is a great measure because it also encourages clean air alternative fuel technologies and the use of low or zero emission vehicles. And so the people who can apply for this are public agencies, businesses, property owners of multi-unit dwellings, such as apartment complexes, condominiums, etc. And so right now, we just want to ensure, that we're reaching out to agencies or other businesses that are recommended by the CSC. So if anybody knows of any other businesses or public agencies that you think would be interested in applying for this program, please let us know by email, by phone call, and then we will be able to get in contact with them and hopefully get them to sign up. And Mario, did you have another question?
Yeah. I was gonna say on those electrical stations, the school, I think the school have to build an electrical station for the bus, right? The ones they got right here in Lamont.
I
Or
know
they
that
gonna
our
build?
school bus program does help with infrastructure costs also. So I can't speak to it real directly, and I apologize because I don't work in that program, but I know real well some of the people who do. And my understanding, and I know that I've toured the site at my son's local school district that got a school bus from us, is that our funding provides, funding for not just the bus itself, but also appropriate chargers for those buses. So that is something that they do link together. Those aren't always good for public charging. A lot of times the school districts will have those back in closed areas that are not really accessible to the public, where their bus barns are located and things like that. So they're great examples of being important for those programs, and we do work with school districts to make sure they have both the buses and the infrastructure when they're working with them. But that's not always a good way to get infrastructure into neighborhoods, because a lot of times the transportation directors like to have a secured area where those buses live.
Yeah, totally understand that part. But could we get something close by? I mean, if they have a power grid close by, to build power for these stations, it'd be less cost to build one close by, no, station, electrical station.
It just depends on who sponsors it. This is Heather. Question for you, Kevin. Is it still the case that funding is approved because the applicant will have public-facing charging hours? Is that
Not entirely. So we can have businesses that want to have it just available for employees.
Oh, okay.
And so we do offer that. Multi-unit dwellings, for example, can also be limited to just residents. So
Like an
we do
apartment
have
complex?
exactly an apartment
Okay.
complex. Yeah,
You have
I'm
to live
sorry.
there to use
We get
it.
all fancy with multi-unit dwellings names and things like that. But yeah, apartment owners might not want random people showing up. You know what I mean? So they don't have to. We don't require that they'll list them on these plug share
Well,
apps and those places like that. But we have them. We have that as an option.
But we got a power station. I mean, a charging station in some apartments. What I know about, and part of that, I tell you, I don't know why my mind is getting blank, getting fogged. Oh, got so much thing.
As you
But
come up with it, Mario, we've got a couple other questions if you want.
yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll go to Emma.
Thank you. I was actually I wanted to ask out of curiosity, how many school districts have actually applied for the buses and the EV infrastructure? Do we have a high level of or high volume of applicants from Curran and Bakersfield generally?
I don't, if you're asking me specifically, I can't speak to that. And I don't have anybody here from our incentives team who is specific for that for the school bus program. I can speak to it a little bit circularly because I've worked with people in the past, but the good details of exactly what there are, I'd have to ask that we reach out to that side of our incentives team and get those details. If I tried to look up anything or guess, it would,
No guessing.
I would be wrong.
We can find out that answer, Emma.
But
no,
yeah,
no
that could be
problem.
something.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
problem. I was just asking out of curiosity again because I've shared it out with a few like school board members, hoping that folks would encourage the superintendent to apply. And so
Right. Yes.
you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Oh, I definitely will look because we love that you advocate on the ground for us. And so I would happy to be like, oh, I think you did something and they've applied. So I would love to find the win there.
Is there a specific school district you want me to peek at real quick?
I mean, I think Lamont is our
is it Lamont Unified School District or?
I think so, yeah. And then I've also
Lamont School, I think Alicante got one. What I heard, what they told me. Alicante got one. Check on Lamont School, maybe Lamont School, maybe.
I see a Lamont Elementary School District, and there are some applications in here. It's a database that I can look up some quick stuff. So I know that Lamont Elementary School District has applied, and I see a couple of applications in here. As far as like the details of what's been finished and what's in progress, that's kind of in the grass on the database stuff that I'm not sure that I would be right if I looked at it. But I do see that we've had Lamont Elementary School District specifically has multiple applications in.
Let's go to Tim.
I had a question regarding the charge up program. I wanted to know how much of the actual project would it cover? Is it a 50-50 or a full amount? Because on the website, when we tried looking it up, it stated that you only maximize the coverage of $5,000.
It can be so wildly variable depending on your circumstances. If you have a convenient location where infrastructure is nearby, we have had projects where we had to reduce the funding because they didn't pay the whole $5,000 to install a charger. So for example, we had a business location that wanted to offer one space to their customers. They attached it to the side of their building where they had a handy conduit already in place, and it was very inexpensive for them to do. And that one, with the purchase of the device, the installation, it came to less than $5,000. But we have some applicants who need to, cut a trench through asphalt, repave after they're done, install new power infrastructure, because if you want to install 10 of these chargers, they might be drawing, 50 amps each. They might need each a 60 amp circuit. And I don't know, you probably don't want to hear all of the amps and volts and power and the details that I can go into that. But that might result in needing a sub panel and maybe even bigger connections to PG&E. And so in those cases, the $50,000 that we might be able to pay for 10 of these chargers, might only be a third or less of what that total is. Sometimes we've had good projects where we've been able to work in conjunction with other grants. I know PG&E used to have a program for apartment complexes kind of specifically, and we've had some really good interfaces where between us and the PG&E grant, they didn't have to pay anything extra out of pocket. We funded the entire build amounts. Obviously ongoing maintenance and things like that requires some costs, but you can charge for electricity, and that might be able to offset some of that. So finding ways to get synergies with other incentive programs, if you have a complicated program that has big, PG&E installs and changes, are something that we definitely recommend and have had a really good success with in the past.
It's because my question revolves more around you are offering them to public agencies, and in order for them to install them, they would have to pay per diem based on the installation, and those $5,000 wouldn't cover that. That project would become either a $10,000 project or a $20,000 project based on what the needs and location are.
Yeah, so it can be It can be a much more, expensive or complicated process, but it might be less. And also, especially in places where like a school district might have solar canopies that they got funded through CEC grants, and they have all this conduit and power capacity right now those locations anyway. It's really convenient for them to include there. But you're right. It is difficult for some agencies to be able to just jump on this and be able to get it done because there's a lot of complications. I know ours at our office cost a lot more than
So,
5,000.
if say a district, like a special district in the boundaries of AB 617 applies for it, and it comes out to more than $5,000, the district will cover the difference, right?
No, we'll only fund up to $5,000 per charge.
So only
So
up to
yeah,
$5,000.
so what we would do is they would apply to us with what they wanted to do. We would issue them a voucher that says we'll fund up to this amount. Anything beyond that amount, they'll be up to them to find a way to identify what those costs are, as we don't have any flexibility to go over our limits. And we do this, we actually put the funding in a bank account specifically for you. So nobody who gets a voucher is ever going to be in a place where we go, oops, we ran out of money after you did the work. And that's one of those important aspects of our incentives program where we don't want anybody to think that they could move forward and then not be able to get paid. So yeah, we have to have a maximum. We put it in there in specifics, and your voucher will indicate to you exactly what your limit will be, and anything beyond that, you'll need to find co-funding for.
Jesus, is your question charge up too? We haven't gone to you yet.
Yeah, it was kind of following Tim's line of questioning, because I know there's interest in some of the districts in our area, but there are a lot of questions. It'd definitely be worthwhile to have a presentation that really does a full breakdown on what agencies would be able to accomplish or do, and what would the final cost be for agencies. Specifically because I think this would be a valuable resource for our community, but then there are agencies, like the LPUD that I'm a part of, where we are not.
What does that stand for?
Lamont Public Utilities District. Yeah. And so we really don't have the authority to. We just handle water. So even though it'd be a valuable resource for our community, we would have to find a way to justify using funds not on water. And so if there was a way for us not to have to pay, then it's something we would be able to consider.
Yeah, and I like to point to that, one of those places where you might look at it as a employee benefit, and it's something that you do for in retention and hiring purposes. If you can, offer your employees charging on site, it's something that will help you attract, other employers. And so on an agency where, obviously everything that you do is connected to water, there are places where some of those connections are attached to things that don't really directly touch the water, but are important for operation. Like how do you get, your employees and things able to make their commutes, reasonably, and give them encouraged reasons to do things like, meet charging requirements. I know that, like our E-Trip rule for, businesses that have employees, one of the things that you can get points for to help, be in compliance for that is to offer things like electric charging on site. So there's lots of places where it's more maybe employee centered, and I know there are a lot of employee expenses that don't, move water. Having a retirement benefit for your employees, for example, doesn't move water, but it's something that you really can't have employees without. So I do encourage, districts who are doing things like that, and agencies. I've encouraged my agency to consider the benefit to our employees for having chargers. I've been one of our longest longest members using our on-site charging infrastructure, and it's one of my favorite perks to my job.
Thank you for that insight, Kevin. Mario, do you want me to lower your hand, or you still have a question?
Yeah, no, I still got that question. Yeah, you know what? I started thinking, and my mind got back to order. And my thing is that I think I got the solution about this. Lamont is having they'll tear down Lamont Park, and they'll make a new park, and I feel we got enough property there, to put stations there, and not only that, to power it. I know they'll put solar panels They have enough solar panels to, for the lights, the electricity and everything. And I feel that's the best spot to put these chargers. And not only that, we don't have to buy property. We don't have to do that. It's already there.
Mario, do they already have a master plan for that park?
Yeah, they already got it covered. So-called they're supposed to start doing the work pretty soon. That's what I heard.
Who will do the work? The county?
I'll be honest with you, I don't know if it's the county, but the only thing I know, they built the park. They built a new park in Lamont.
Okay.
Yes, it would be county.
Okay. Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah.
We've got the contacts in the county. We can inquire. There's nothing wrong with us knocking on the door going, hey.
Yeah, I think that's our best solution, and especially worry about electricity. I know they're gonna put solar panels there because there's a big program going on, so-called, of my understanding, the county could get those solar panels with no problems.
Got it.
All right.
Thank you. Diana.
Sí, buenas tardes. Nada más quería
Yes,
hacer
good
el
afternoon.
comentario a
I
lo
just
de
wanted to go
la parte, si
ahead
es con el
and
condado,
make a
con la
comment with Mario.
participación
If
de
it's
parte
from the
del
county,
condado,
it's a park that was on
ya
behalf
hay
of the
unos
county.
planos, ya está
There
todo
are a couple
diseñado
of
para el
plans.
parque.
Everything is
No me
designed for
recuerdo
that
si
park. I
ya
don't
arreglaron
remember if
lo
they
para
added
los cargadores,
for the
pero podría yo darle
chargers,
seguimiento
but
con la persona que me pongo en
there could be some
contacto
follow,
sobre
or
lo
I
que nos
could
da
give you
los
some follow-up
updates
with
de todo
the
cómo
person
va
that
el
usually
proceso del
gives me
parque
some follow-up
y
on the
poder
whole park
llevarlo a
process,
ellos a
and
decirles si hay
then
posibilidades
take
de que se
you to
pueda
them
agregar
so that
al,
way maybe you
al
could talk to them and
proyecto o
see
que
if
se
there's any
pongan en contacto
possibility of
con
adding
ustedes,
to that project,
pero sí
or
podría
maybe be
comunicarme con la persona.
putting them in contact with all of you, but there is a way to communicate with that person.
Fantastic. We'd love that contact. That's a good idea. Thanks for the information. Tim, your hand's up again. Hi.
I think this project has been brought to them before, and the county has turned it down because of the liability issue. They don't want to leave them out in a remote area where they don't have no security,
Like
and they get
vandalized?
vandalized. Because I think when me and Danielle participated in the design phase of the park, we petitioned them to put something like that, and they said no because they don't want to run the risk of getting them vandalized.
Got it. That's definitely
but they do have a sufficient space where they can put it because adjacent to the park is a county library that has a big parking lot and another vacant county property that they have there.
Well, it's still worth calling them again. and the challenge for vandalism is ongoing. I do think it's making the vendors of the charging infrastructure go back to the drawing table a little bit, much like many public entities are. I know here up in our area, they have to literally cement or secure everything, right? There can't be exposed wire of anything. Some of those extra steps just to secure basic stuff. So we can ask again. But I like that idea. Thank you. All right. Are we on your last slide, Nancy?
Yes. So I'll go ahead and stop sharing my screen and open up the floor for any questions, comments.
This Heather, I did fail to mention, and I am glad that we had the discussion because I think it will also affect what we do. When we get that postcard done and printed, we want to also time some social media advertising, probably on Meta, with the similar information. So it doesn't look maybe like a hoax. Comes in your mailbox, you get an ad presented to you when you're on social media. And we'll double down on trying to do organic posts too, to create the momentum that you're looking for, to encourage the public to communicate with us. We took up 50 minutes. We had a lot to say. Oh, I see Bianca made it. Do you have anything to share with us? If she's there. No worries if not.
Sorry, I was running late.
No problem. Hi.
I'm getting little bits and pieces. I had to hop off and on the meeting, but it's very good to hear everybody's outreach and wanting more information, so the Air District is able to connect all the folks in.
All right. Well, I've got a couple notes for sort of ongoing work we'll do. I know that you'd like to see some kind of formalized charge up presentation that explains it. Maybe, I don't know, how we dial it together a little more concisely to the information we got from Kevin so that we can explain to the public and, alleviate their fears and get them past that sort of unknowing hump. We're also definitely going to reach out to the county. It's worth another conversation regarding that park in Lamont. And if not, maybe we ask them about the library next door. And if not, maybe we ask if we can make the library a clean air center. Just having the conversation is still good for us, and we're excited for you to pass along that contact. And then if you wouldn't mind, just give me feedback, plan to give me feedback, us feedback, and see if there is any kind of momentum when we do start pushing that out. If you've got people that maybe know you're participating in an air quality project, or maybe it just becomes topic of conversation because it becomes more prevalent, but hopefully we make a good splash. Unless my team has more, I think we're done for the day.
Thank you for having me today. I really appreciate the opportunity to come and talk about our charge up program. Thank you.
Thanks for coming, Kevin. And hopefully we send a bunch of folks your way. All right, any last questions? No? Okay, I want to thank Amelia for being here. Thank you, Linguistica. And thank you all for joining us and for your great feedback. We are excited to keep going. More to come. Okay, bye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Goodbye. No, yes, but